Here's a fun fact for you. I dug up an old iPad that I used to play this game on to record footage of the game for this video. But then I found a downloadable pull of the Steam version of the game that worked much better, so I didn't actually need to do that. Whoops. You saw the title, but I'll ask anyway. Does anyone remember Tiny Thief? Seriously, I used to love this game, but I never really heard anyone talk about it, and to be honest, I didn't know if anyone actually played it. As you may have guessed, you can't play the game anymore, at least by normal means, since they removed it from every platform ever. But I really wanted to play it again, and I wanted to learn more about why it got removed in the first place, so I decided, hey, why not finally use that YouTube channel I created like a year ago and actually post something? So here it is. This is what happened to Tiny Thief. Tiny Thief was a point-and-click adventure game developed by the team 5 Ants and published by Rovio under their Rovio Stars program. The gameplay loop revolves around you playing as this silly guy with hair on his face that is apparently named Barrett, and I didn't know that before researching this video, and I was horrified to find that out, but, right. You guide the thief around the screen by tapping where you want to go, and when he's standing by something important, you have the ability to interact with it, which is also done by tapping. It was a mobile game, so everything is done by tapping. In each level, you have 3 objectives. The first objective is the main thing you are trying to steal. You can't finish the level until you collect this item, and it is the only item you need to complete the level. The second objective is the bonus items. There are several extra items scattered around the levels for you to steal, and when you collect them, they are placed in a treasure chest you can access from the level selection screen. These are collected either on the way to your primary objective or as a separate minigame like this cart ride one that definitely didn't take me like a million tries to complete because I am good at video games. The final objective, and my personal favorite, is your pet ferret, which will be hiding somewhere around the level. If you are keen-eyed enough and manage to tap him in the face when he sticks his head out, he'll climb out of his hiding spot and run off the screen, which I know isn't the most exciting, but he's so cute. Look at the little guy. The game consists of 5 main worlds and 1 DLC world, each consisting of 5 levels. I never owned the DLC world, so I never actually got to play it until researching this video, because I found a download of the full game including it. So I instantly 100% the game over again, with the DLC this time, and it was amazing. The first world is A Rumbling Stomach, and it is a simple tutorial world where you learn how to play the game by stealing food to eat and freeing animals from being eaten, which is a weird contradiction of sorts, but I digress. The second world is a corrupt sheriff, and it turns the player into a Robin Hood of sorts, fighting against a greedy sheriff, and basically just making his life as annoying as possible because he's stealing money from old ladies and candy from babies. The third world is The Cursed Treasure. It's my favorite because it's pirate-themed, and I like pirates. You basically just spike this guy's whiskey, sneak onto his ship, get kidnapped by probably not racistly depicted island natives, sneak into this temple, face your evil twin, and steal the original guy's treasure from him. I think it's the strongest of the worlds in the game. The fourth world brings us toward the ending of our story in A Royal Rescue. Our main man, Barrett, the thief, falls in love with this princess that also has her hair over her eyes, and the first 3 levels of the world follow this. But then, the last 2 levels of the world diverge from the simple gameplay loop you've gotten used to so far. Now your primary objective is not something you're stealing, but instead, your primary objective is to save the king as the castle comes under siege. I think these are the weakest levels in the game. I didn't really find the second to last level to be memorable, and the last level in this world is so short I honestly think it'd take longer to finish the tutorial. But, I do like where this leads us. The 5th and originally final world of the game is Rattling Bones, where the princess has been stolen, and now our thief is chasing after this guy, apparently known as the Dark Knight. But, not that Dark Knight. In this world, you're stealing things to catch up to the Dark Knight. First a robot, then a sword, then a Sims-looking crystal thing from this guy's hat, and finally, an octopus boat. This leads into the boss battle of this game, which is actually incredibly fun, and uses the game mechanics really creatively. Then there is Bewitched, which was paid DLC on that iPad I mentioned at the start of the video, so I never played it. Until now, that is. The download of the Steam pull that I found included Bewitched, so yay. Anyways, Bewitched is alright. It has some really long levels, cool themed environments, this absolute bop. and a boss fight that isn't as good as the one in Rattling Bones, but is still enjoyable nonetheless. This is honestly about exactly what I expected from this world, so I like it. The pirate one is still my favorite, though. Okay, F11, we get all that, but why can't you play this game anymore? It really does sound like so much fun. I would even consider it like the best game ever, you know? Why would they get rid of it? Calm down. I'm getting to that. As I said before, the developer behind Tiny Thief is a company known as 5ants, and this guy on Reddit referenced another game they supposedly made, but I can't find anything that links them to any game other than Tiny Thief. The game was published by... let's see here... Rovio Stars. Where have I... Oh! Yes, that is correct. The Angry Birds guys published this game. In 2013, Rovio started their Rovio Stars program that they planned to use to help other developers by assisting development and publishing their games. The program kicked off with Icebreaker, A Viking Voyage, and Tiny Thief. The program was never officially shut down, as far as I can tell, but they haven't published a game since 2015, and their page on the Rovio website is gone. Why? Well, the obvious reason would be that it wasn't making enough money anymore to be worth it to the company to sustain, which is something I heard from a few people online. But there's also another reason I heard going around, which is a bad look for Rovio. So Tiny Thief cost money to play originally. This makes sense, of course. You pay company money, you get their product. In this case, the game. But this was the point in time where some companies realized that they could make their game free to play and cover the operating costs by placing ads and purchasable goods into the game. Tiny Thief wasn't one of these free-to-play games, but at some point, Rovio, or maybe even 5ants, decided to switch the game to this model. The first two worlds would be free-to-play, but you'd have to pay up for the others, and now there were ads in the game. This is annoying, but it's fine, the main game is still the same, and I already own the game, so I won't have to deal with this. Well... that was the problem. See, something went wrong when they updated the game, and now people that already paid for the game beforehand had their content locked behind the same paywall, and they would have to buy it again. Obviously this was bad, but instead of addressing the issue and fixing it, Rovio removed the game from everywhere. Steam, Google Play, the App Store, and even the Wii U eShop, which I had no idea was ever on.
Et tu, Brute?
If you had the game, you could still play it, but if you didn't, you were out of luck. If you had an iPhone, then you couldn't play it after a while regardless, because it doesn't work if you're on anything after iOS 9. It was devastating. Heartbreaking. Soul-wrenching. I guess it wasn't that bad, but I was upset when I couldn't play it anymore, and I always wondered what was behind that paywalled padlock on Bewitched. And that leads to today, where I really wanted to play this game again, so I looked into it, and that's when I found something beautiful. Someone took the entire Steam version of the game, with Bewitched included, and placed it into a Mediafire folder so anyone can download it. I will link to it in the description of this video, but you can also find it pretty quickly on the Tiny Thief subreddit, which is where I found it. I got to play this game again after 8 years, and it was just as fun as I remembered. I finally played Bewitched, and it was a great new challenge, and now I have it on my desktop for whenever I want. So, that's it then? The game was good, got canned, and now is playable again. What more is there? To be honest, not much, but I can't end this video without first discussing Love You to Bits. Love You to Bits is a game that, to be honest with you, I haven't played. But it is considered to be the spiritual successor to Tiny Thief. I looked into the game so I could play it before writing this section of the video, but the thing is, I'm cheap and I didn't want to pay $4.50 for it, at least right now. I found a walkthrough and watched the first 3 levels to get an idea of how the game works and is played, and it appears that it's almost identical to Tiny Thief. I also discovered that some of the members of the studio that made the game worked on Tiny Thief, so the fact that it's similar isn't surprising. The game has great reviews and apparently has won a lot of awards, so I'm sure I'll play it at some point. That's actually why I only watched the first 3 levels. I didn't want to spoil it for myself. And that's all I can really say about Tiny Thief. It's a wonderful game that has been lost to time. If you want to play it, I will leave a link to where I downloaded it in the description, but if you don't trust me, you can also find it on the Tiny Thief subreddit, which is where I found it. I can't be sure if I'm just nostalgic, but I think that the game is really something special. That's it. I'm F11, and you can exit full screen now.